All right. Okay, thank you for that. So let's move on to exercise 2. I'll just go back to the LMS just to show us again. We've just covered this getting started with Excel. So you're going to click on data cleansing. That's the next exercise. This one. So when you click on here, automatically it's going to load and show you the file. It's still loading. I'm just waiting for it to load so I can show you guys. Okay, so come on the exercise files. Look at it. Click on exercise files. Then you have this. Then you can click on the cloud icon. Look at it. Just click on the cloud icon. Then the file will be downloaded for you. Okay. So our very first step in Excel is learning what Excel is, features of Excel, how to get started in Excel, what we should know about Excel, productivity. Now, exercise 2 is going to expose us to begin to now work with Excel. This now takes us to what is called data cleansing. So when you hear the word data cleansing, what does it mean? So data cleansing means this whole idea of identifying that there's an error in your data, correcting that errors, and formatting your data is what is called data cleansing. It's a three-way process. Identify if there's an error in that data, you correct the error, and then you format it. So this is a step that you must always perform on your data every time. Now, what kind of error can you have? For example, inappropriate format. Sometimes your data is badly formatted. Sometimes you have blanks. Sometimes you have duplicates, and so on. All of these errors, they need to be what? They need to be cleaned. And that is why data cleansing is so essential. So what happens if you don't clean your data? You're bound to have a report that is full of errors. For example, your sales alone can be overstated because of duplicates. And your sales can also be understated because of that duplicate as well. Right. So those are the things you need to know about data cleansing. Remember the process: we identify, we correct, and we format. Now, let's start with this first example. Look at this employee name, guys. I want you to tell me, what do you observe or anything you feel like is not right in these employee names? Because remember, that's the first step of data cleansing. Identify that their data is containing error or not. So over to you guys to check for us. As usual, we need somebody to bail us out. Who's going to check for us? What can we spot in these employee names? Anyone? Look at it critically. Anything we can spot that is not okay, that we feel is not properly done or needs to be corrected? You can also type.
I think it's just they're not well aligned also.
Okay, they are not well aligned. Okay, thank you for that. Akiwumi is typing. Akinkumi is typing. You can also type. Please begin to look at it, because the quality of how you can, I mean, your skills in identifying errors is essential. If you know this is an error, then you cannot clean it. And that's why we need to focus on how to identify errors, things that are not properly done, that we need to correct it. That's the whole essence of data cleansing. Yeah, go ahead, Anna.
They don't follow the right alphabetical order.
All right, they don't follow the right alphabetical order. Okay, thank you. Olade, please go ahead.
No, she said it already. They are not alphabetical.
Okay, thank you for that. Akinkumi says they are not properly arranged. Okay, maybe I should help you guys. Can we look at this data if there are anything that appear more than twice? Do we have a duplicate here?
Yes.
Okay, what's that duplicate?
Eaton Jeffrey.
Awesome, awesome. So I know it took us a bit of time to spell that, but don't worry. I'm going to show you guys how to apply a rule to your data to check for duplicates. Okay, you guys already mentioned them. Thank you for those submissions. Not properly aligned is one key error that is here. Normally, when you look at this Eaton Jeffrey, the first one, this one, let me zoom in properly so we can all see. So this one does not have a space. This one has a space. There's abnormal space here, abnormal space here, abnormal space here, and so on. And when folks see this kind of data, they want to begin to now edit it manually like this. Again, the danger of doing this method is it would waste your time. Because what if this is about 100 or 200 line items? You will spend nothing less than 2 hours doing this. And this is what Excel can do for you in 1 minute. And that's why when we say that learning Excel or knowing how to use Excel productively can save you hours, it's not exaggeration. You're going to see it now. So I just did this. I'm going to come here to do the same, which is edit manually. This is manual work. I can keep on going on and on until I get to the last data, which is manual. Or I can use a function. So what are functions? So for me to clean this data, I can use a functions. Remember I told us earlier, when you go to formulas, there are a lot of formulas and functions we have in Excel. So the question is, what are these formulas and functions? What do they do? The way I explain it to anyone is, you see, these formulas or functions, they are like a medicine that is designed for specific ailments. So each of them are designed to solve a particular problem. You know, when somebody says, oh, I have malaria, they give the person this kind of medicine, right? Oh, somebody say, I want to clean this, I want to do this. There's a function for it. That's the same thing that happens. So each of these functions are unique in their ways, and they perform different features. So the very first one we're going to learn this afternoon is a function called trim. That is TRIM. So what does this function do in Excel? It helps us remove inappropriate space. All this space, this trim function helps us remove them and clean them for us. But before you use a function in Excel, there's something you must do first, and that is to put your equal sign. Once you put your equal sign, you tell Excel, I either want to reference Excel or I want to use a function. I'll put equals to, and I'm going to type the name of the function. Once I type T, what does Excel do? Excel goes into its function dictionary and show me the list of functions that start with T. But because I know what I want, I'll keep typing TRIM. So when I get there, what Excel do for me? Excel tells me the purpose of that function. So if you're the type that likes to follow attention, that like to read things, and I like to follow instruction, you're going to love Excel because it's very simple to use. Because each of these functions will guide you of how to execute them. Once you follow the guidance, you will not have a problem with Excel. So for every function that you want to use, Excel will tell you what that function does. So this one says, removes all spaces from a text string except for a single space between words. So how do I open this function? Because for me to use this function, I need to open it so I can see the instruction. You know, when somebody take a drug from the hospital, they give them prescription. Oh, 2 in the morning, 2 at night. Oh, you take 1 injection now. That's the same thing. Every function has a different, unique instruction. That instruction is what is called syntax or argument. But I don't like to call it syntax or argument because that's a jargon word. Too technical. What I like to call it is instruction. So how do you get Excel to open the function for you so I can be able to see the instruction for you to execute that function? You can do one or two things. You can either double click on the function itself, or you can click on the tab key. You can click on the tab key or double click on the function itself. Then it has opened something for us. See? What is asking us to supply? Our text. And what this means in literal sense is Excel is saying that where is the text that you want me to remove inappropriate space from? So I'm going to go here to select this text. Oh, why am I putting B4 here? Why not just type it in J3? Yes, you are the one seeing B4. What Excel is saying is what is typed in that B4. Because remember, in Excel, we work by cell address. And what the function will be showing for you is the cell address. But what the result will show is what is typed in that cell address. So after I supply my instruction, Excel is asking me to do something, which is to close. I'm going to close the bracket. Then I will press what? Enter. Look at it. What's the difference between this and this? This has been cleaned. You now have just one space, which is appropriate, unlike this one. And once you're done with the first one in Excel, you don't need to come here to type equals to trim. No. You can instruct Excel to copy this formula down. And that is what you guys do by coming here to begin to drag. This is what you guys do, drag. Don't worry, again, I'm not judging you. But if you are dragging, you don't need to do that. It's this time-wasting exercise. Because what if this is about 500,000 data? Imagine how long it takes you to drag down 200,000 to 200 data. Don't do that. So how should you copy this formula down? What you need to do is put your cursor here. Once you have this plus sign, then it means you are ready to copy down. Just double click on it. And guess what? Excel will copy everything for you. Look at it. The functions has been copied down. And we just, in less than a minute, we just clean this data. So this is how to use functions, and we've just performed our data cleansing. But that's not all. But there are two things we identify here. Aside from that inappropriate space, we also have duplicates. Now, before I go to that duplicate, you need to know that once you use a function to clean your data, you likely do not need the unclean data, which is this one. But there's a problem. Because if you come on here to highlight this data and you delete it, these also get deleted. And the reason is not far-fetched. It's because this you've done is referencing this cell. So if you want to delete this without this being affected, then it means that you now need to remove the functions or you need to disconnect them. Because the function has served its purpose. So we can as well just remove the function or disconnect the two. So how do you disconnect the two? Again, step one is to highlight your data, and don't highlight your data manually. You can use a shortcut. Put your cursor here and press Ctrl, Shift, and down arrow. Ctrl, Shift, and down arrow. Trust me, you've been learning Excel. You're going to learn it in a different dimension where you see how things work on a proper scale. That's why I need you guys to note all of these shortcuts so I can begin to use them. So don't come here to highlight your data manually. No. Put your cursor on the first data you want to highlight and then press Ctrl, your Shift key, then your down arrow. Automatically, no matter how long the data is, it is highlighted for you. Now, what are we trying to do? We are trying to disconnect them because I want to delete the unclean version and I want to have the clean version. So I'm going to right click to copy. I can also use shortcut, which is Ctrl C to copy. But that's not where we're going. After you copy, then you're going to right click to paste. I know you can use Ctrl V to paste, but because of what we are trying to do, and what is that? We are trying to convert this from a formula cell to an input cell. Because we don't want them to be connected to each other. So we can delete this one successfully. So we're going to use this second paste option. To paste, you need to right click and click on the second paste option. See? Second paste option. Click on value. And guess what? You've just pasted your data. So this is no longer a formula cell. When you go on here to do this, then this one is fine. So let's change the color as well for this one. Let's change the color to white. So step 1 has been done. Now let's go to step 2, which is to remove the duplicate. We see it in Jeffrey here, it in Jeffrey here as well. So before you remove this duplicate, let me show you how to apply a rule that check the entirety of your data if there are duplicates. I think that is the first thing you need to learn, so that you know if you're working with a unique data or not. So to check if your column has a duplicate, you can highlight everything, Ctrl Shift and down to do that, and then go here to Home Ribbon. From the Home Ribbon, you're going to go to where it says Conditional Formatting. Look at it. Conditional Formatting. Then you're going to go here to Highlight Sales Rules. Look at it. Highlight Sales Rules. And then you come down to where it says Duplicate Values. Look at it. Step 1, go to Home. Step 2, Conditional Formatting. Step 3, click on the first option. Then you're going to go down to Duplicate Values. Then click on OK. See, it has highlighted that it's in Jeffrey. This is told us that appeared twice. If I copy this mark, let's say I replace this mark with this one, it was to highlight it for us as duplicate. Can you see that? All right. So this is what we need to know. Now, after we've done this, how then do we remove this duplicate? To remove the duplicate, we're not going to do it one after the other because there could be more of them too. So we're going to highlight this data. Then we'll go here to Data Ribbon. Look at it. We're going to go to Data Ribbon here. From Data Ribbon, we just click on this option that says Remove Duplicate. Look at it. Remove Duplicate. And we're going to click on Continue with the current selection. What this means is, I don't want you to check for the entirety of this worksheet for me. I'm looking for duplicate. No. I want you to focus on just this selection. Then click on Remove Duplicate and click on OK. And then automatically that has been removed. So this is how you clean your data within 8 seconds. Now let's go to more scenarios. Now by the right here, we have another data. Now, what I want us to do here is a scenario where Excel takes the leading 0. Let me explain to you. I want to hear your opinion. What do you do in this situation? Then when you're typing in Excel, when you type 080, this is my phone number, by the way, 080, and I'm on the group chat as well, 36220410. Once I press enter, Excel is fond of taking the leading 0. So I want to ask you guys, what do you do in this instance? You want Excel to return that 0. How do you make sure that Excel does not remove the leading 0? Anyone? Has anyone encountered this situation before in Excel? Please, I'm also asking not to crucify you or not to judge you. I'm asking because I also want to learn so many ways. And trust me, in Excel, there are so many ways to do stuff. And don't feel your way is manual. Trust me, it may not be manual like you thought. So who wants to tell us what they do? Anyone has explained this scenario, and what do you do? Okay, if there are no answers, it means that nobody has experienced this. So let me tell you what to do. Because obviously, we don't want Excel to take the leading 0. Some people will go, or some people will put apostrophe here, and they will type. Why this may look like it's solving the problem, it is a manual work. Because imagine all of these things. So how do you go here? So you have to come here. I'm going to put apostrophe before each and every one of them. That is too manual. So what How else can we do it? So what we're going to do is highlight all this data. When we highlight our data, we're going to go here to home ribbon. Now, you see this place is called the number format. Excuse me. Right. Everything you have here, they are called format, but they perform different things. Here is font, your text size, your border alignment, your bold, your italic, your underline. Here is alignment. Here is you want to have text, you want to merge and center. But this place is so powerful. If I click on this more option now, it shows you the entirety of the number format. So what is number format and what does it do? So number format is where we can format all our input in Excel. You see, all the data type you can have in Excel, whether it's accounting data, whether it's a date, whether it's number, whether it's fraction, whether it's text, you can see them right here. And this is where you can format it. So I'm going to go here to where it says custom. When I get to custom, I see sample and I see general. So I'm going to take off the general by using backspace. I will now replace that with 11 zeros. Why is that? Because the data itself is 10, 0. And I want Excel to return back the reading 0 that you removed. And that's why I'm going to make it 11. So I'll type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'll type the 11th one. Look at it. Now, when I click on OK, Excel has returned the reading 0. So this is the simple way to format your phone number. If I do it for this, I can do it for this column now, and Excel will not take it again. Let's do it again. I can click on here or just press Ctrl 1. Ctrl 1 will open your number format. In case you don't want to go from this route. Go to custom. We're going to go here to take out the general using backspace. We're going to type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then click on OK. So this cell is formatted. Now, if I go on here to type my phone number now, 36220410. See? 08034. See? Everything is now intact. So this is how you format your data in Excel. Now let's go to more examples. There's still one more examples under here. We are still under this data cleansing. So we have 3 examples on this sheet alone. Now let's look at this salesperson and sales figure. Obviously, we saw that these sales figures contain some error. Oh, I don't know how to remove it, and I don't want to waste my time. Let me just get the total sales figure. So I come on here to just type a total, and I use a sum function to add it together. I press enter. And what did Excel do? Excel says 0. Now, when there are errors in your data, Excel has a way to force you to clean it before you proceed. Outrightly, the function we use is a function called sum. What that function do is to add numbers in the cells together. But now we apply the function on this and Excel is returning 0. That's because this thing that you're seeing as number, Excel is not seeing it as a number at the moment because of that error. So until you take it out or you clean it, you can't go forward. So what else? And what do we do? So our best option is to remove that square bracket because obviously that is the error that we have in that data. So how do you take it out? Again, there's so many ways to get your destination in Excel. Let me show you one of the fastest way to clean this. Now, the fastest way is to try and do like you want to do a manual work. We're going to use something called flash fill. So this flash fill is not a function. It is a pattern recognition. And the way it works is you do something for Excel, Excel sees it and Excel says, oh, I can replicate this for you. That's exactly how it works. So I'm going to come on here to type 100, 453. I'm just trying to extract the numbers because I don't want to go here beginning to remove the error manually. After I've done the first one, I'll go to my second cell. I will try to extract the numbers 500, 453. By now, I can be rest assured that Excel understands what I'm trying to achieve. So what will I do? I'm going to put my cursor on this cell. After I've done these two manually, I put my cursor here, and I'm going to go here to data. When I get to data ribbon, I will click on Flash Fill. I'll click on what? Flash Fill, which means, oh, Excel, see my previous pattern. Now help me complete it using this pattern. So when I click on it, and guess what? Excel gets the logic and it helps me extract it. So and I have a clean one. I can now go here to rewrite my formula, which is equals to sum, align this data, then close and press enter. Look at it. So what if I want to put a separator? Because I always say that you must not leave your number like this. Remember, data cleansing is identify, correct, and format. So if you identify the error, you correct it, and you present this way, you've not performed the full data cleansing because you need to format it. For example, is this a 10 million? Is this 1 million? Is this 10,000? I don't know because you didn't put separator. So what do? You highlight your final result. You go back to home ribbon, and then you see option to put your comma. See right here. And then you can use this icon to remove decimals. So we've just cleaned it. If I go on here, I click and delete this sales figure. Delete. Shift cells to the left. So now I have my sales figures, sales value. So I can now make this place bold. I can highlight it. I can make it bold. I can also highlight the entire data here and just give it a border. Look at it. I can delete this one. So this is how you format your data in Excel. Any questions so far? Are you guys following me? Hope I'm not too fast. So at this point, I need a feedback before we proceed. Are you guys following? Any questions so far? Are you finding it easy? I need a feedback.
We are following.
Okay, Kenny. What did you say, Kenny?
I said we are following.
Okay. I'm sure he's looking interesting, right?
A bit.
I have a question.
Yes, Miriam, please go ahead.
I'm not sure if it's something you've done earlier because I stepped out briefly. But in a situation where we have a very large data set and the column is really, really long or large, how do we, and you have say the heading like this, you have a heading and then the data underneath, and you can't click, usually you just click on the top of the column to highlight everything in that particular column. But when that's not the case, you can't highlight everything because maybe there is a heading or there's something before the particular data you're working on, and the data is long. Do you now keep scrolling until you get to the end in order to highlight a particular column?
Okay, that's a good question.
The formula.
So you don't need to scroll to get to you don't need to scroll. Let's say, for example, look at this data now. It's another long data. Look at it. This is long. So you don't need to scroll. Let's imagine that I wanted to give this company, these people, a compensation. And all of these things are their job ratings. So I want to multiply this by this. Now, all I need to do is I'll just go here to say that equals to this multiplied by this. I've just done the first one. I don't need to begin to copy down. I just need to come to put my cursor double click and have this thing copy down. If I want to preview everything, I can use my scroll bar to quickly preview. But if my goal is to highlight everything that I've done, I'll put my cursor here and I'll just press Ctrl, Shift, and down. Can you see? It will highlight everything for me. And to go back up, I can press Ctrl and upward arrow. It will take me back up.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, please, this is also an avenue for us to ask. If it's not confidential, maybe it's the way you work in Excel, or you've seen something done, somebody's done something before, they look like a magic to you. You can always explain and describe it. We will show you how it was done. Right. Okay, so let's proceed. So let me ask us this question. When we see this hash, what does it mean in Excel? What do you think this hash means? Why is Excel showing hash for this? We want to hear you guys. Why is Excel showing, what does that hash mean? Anybody? I'm sure we've encountered something like this before. Who wants to try? Anyone wants to try? What does hash mean?
I think that's when the space is too small for the total digits per cell.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So what Excel is literally saying is that column is too small. Expand me. And you notice it's not just that column. Others are also small as well, but you're able to see them, even though you can see that it's tight. So when you have this scenario, how do you adjust it? So when people begin to come on here, to start manually adjusting. And the thing about anything you do manually, it wastes your time and it is not also accurate. You come on here to begin to adjust, to begin to adjust, to begin to adjust, to begin to adjust. It is not accurate and it wastes your time. So this is not proficient. So what do you do? Or how can you quickly adjust everything? Again, there's so many ways, but I'm going to show you the fastest way. Fastest way to adjust this to both columns and row is click between your data. Click between A and 1. I just click this edge. By clicking that edge, everything is selected. Now that everything is selected, what do? I just go here to double click on this. The rows, the columns has been adjusted. I'll double click on here as well, and the rows has been adjusted. So let's do this again. Again, this is what your data looks like. Don't manually adjust it. Click between the A and 1. Click this edge. So you make the entire sheet active. After that, you just double click, everything is expanded, and also double click the rows, and everything is expanded. So we have just expanded this data. Now, don't forget the last step of data cleansing, which is formatting. The first thing I notice here is this column is saying, the header is saying date joined, but this is not looking like a date. What happened? Now, it may be interesting to know that sometimes your data format change. Not because they are an error, but it is part of what happens in Excel from time to time. And your own skills of changing it back to the right format is part of data cleansing you need to know. So how do we format this to show a proper date? Because this is actually a date, but it's just formatted as a number. Easy. Ctrl Shift and down to highlight all your data. And then you can go here to Home. When you go to Home here, this option here, you have this date option. In case you don't want to use any of this option, just go to More Number Format, then go under Date. Go under Date. You have tons of options to choose from here. Look at it. There are tons of options to choose from. Do you want to choose this option where the month started before, or you want to choose this option or this one? Then click on OK. Oh, I don't want it to look like this. So I want the month to come first. You can go back to Home You can even go here to choose this option. Again, you can choose from different options. What about our sales data? Again, we need to summarize and format this properly. Oh, the currency is dollar. How do I change this into dollar? Go to home, you'll see dollar option here. But let's imagine that you didn't see that option. They can go to more option, go to currency. You see, all the world currency are found here. The global world currency can be found under here. So I've just gone to currency and I'm here. Oh, I want to change it to Yoruba, Hausa, anyone you want to change it to, Spanish, French, Euro. This is Euro. So all the currency in the world are here. So let's change it to dollar. You'll see dollar up. Just choose this and click on OK. Oh, I don't want decimals. I can remove the decimals. Now, as I've done this, the column has also expanded beyond what I want. I'll just double click on here and it'll give me what I need. Now, after I've done this, most time we are too lazy to put a border. And I say this a lot of times. By the way you are dressed, by the way you appear, people make an impression of you. They judge you. The same way with data. You may not notice there is that guy, there is that girl in your office that every time he or she sends a report, everybody wants to view it because there's something about how he or she presented it. Those things are intentional. And as a professional, we should also do that. See, your whole job is done at this point. You can start to send this report out, nobody will crucify you. But going ahead to present properly shows your attention to details. So shows your intentionality about data formatting. And that's what we're going to do now. So the first thing we're going to do is highlight all these data. I'm going to highlight the header. I press Ctrl Shift and down. So let me duplicate this data so I can show you before and after. So you know why it's good to always present your data well. Create a copy, click on OK. Okay, so let's highlight the header. Then I'll press Ctrl Shift and down. After doing that, I'm going to click on border. This is the border. I have the border. Then after that, I'm going to highlight the header here. I'll click on bold, that is, make it bold. Now, if I want to make it look so nice, all of these gray lines, what are they doing here? I'm going to go to review. I'm going to go to view. I'll uncheck the gray lines. All right. Now, guys, imagine somebody presented the same report like this, and somebody that presented like this. So the difference between this and this. Somebody is intentional and presented it well formatted, and this person does just not care. So please, let's ensure that we are presenting our data properly. Remember, that is the third steps of data cleansing. Now let's go to this one that says number stores as text. So there are sometimes your number are formatted as text, or your number are disguised as a number, but they are actually a text format. Now, one of the ways to know is you can download your bank statement. If you have UBA, download your UBA bank statement, for example. That's for Nigeria. For most foreign bankers, when you download the bank statement in Excel, when you try to sum up the total debit and total credit, you realize that you're getting zero. That's because you need to format them because they are formatted as a text. For example, look at this. If I go here to type equals to sum and I highlight all these data, close and press enter, it's showing zero. Yes, because you can see this as a number, but Excel is not seen as a number. So what do you do? Now, there are ways to format it back to number. The option one is to follow Excel error prompt. When you look at this data now, there's a green symbol by the side, and there's a symbol for danger by the side as well. Excel is trying to communicate to you. And what is Excel saying to you? Number stored as text. And Excel gave you option to convert it to number. If I click on convert to number now, see, that's converted to number. But obviously, I can't do this one after the other. It's a waste of time. So because I have this icon, I can just highlight everything, and I can just click on this option and click on convert to number. Again, that's because I have the icon given to me by Excel. But if I don't have the icon, how else can I format this to number? I can use a function which is equals to value. And value will ask me for text. I'm going to click on this, then I'll close it, and I'll press enter. I'll just go here to autofill. So that's another way. Value, just click on this, and I'll click on autofill. And now this is a number. Because if I try to sum it together now, by pressing equals to sum, and I like the data, you will see that it is showing as what? As a number. So do we understand, guys? So that is the way you can format your data that is disguised as a text to an actual number. So if you are keen, maybe you have two screens and you want to follow me step by step along, I also allow that in the session. All I just advise you do is make sure you have two screens. If you have monitor on your laptop, you can be watching me, you can be doing one screen. And when you're not getting it and you have questions, I can allow you to share your screen. Right. But I don't advise you watching me on the phone and try to do it, especially if you're a beginner. So all the class material on the LMS, you can always download it way ahead of the class, and we can start together. What you're learning is an hands-on practical sessions. Nobody become good in Excel by watching videos. If by watching videos, you can go on YouTube, there are thousands of videos. But trust me, until you practice yourself. And that's why this session is there. And that's why we encourage you that all the assignment, try and solve them, try and ask questions. The more questions you ask, the more practice you do, the more you solve the assignment, the better you become. You cannot live here and become the same. Never. Unless you not practice. Okay, so let's continue. So we have two things to cover before we call it a day on this exercise and before we call it a day for today. So we have these two data listed like this. And what we want to do is to find duplicates. Right. Reconciliation is one of the big pain for a lot of people, but guess what? With Excel, it's too easy. For example, look at these two data. We have one list here, another list here. So we want to look at these two data and reconcile it by identifying what they both have in common. And after that, we also want to see what is unique to both of them. So what is the fastest way for me to do this in Excel? I'm going to highlight the two data. That's the step one. And after I've highlighted the two data, I'm going to go to my home ribbon here. From home ribbon, I'm going to go here to conditional formatting. From here, I'll go to where it says highlight cells row. Look at it. And I'll come down to duplicate values. Duplicate values. Automatically, I can change the color that I want it to use, yellow. I'll click on OK. So what this is showing us is the ones in yellow are what appears in both lists. We have 161 here, we have 161 here. We have 101 here, we have what? 101 here. 124 here, we have 124 here. This is a simple way to reconcile two data. What if our objective is to now look at what is unique to both of them? That is, what does Ross have that Monica does not have? Or what does Monica have that Ross does not have? You can use the same procedure. Highlight the data and go here to Home, Conditional Formatting, and then go to Duplicate Values. But when you go here, you're going to change the color to maybe green. and I change this in from duplicate to unique. And click on OK. So the green field are what are unique to both lists. So this 135 is here, is not here. 113 is here, 113 is not here. So what they both have in common is 161. 161 is here. The ones in yellow are duplicate. What they both have in common, while the one in green are what is unique to both of them. Now, the second example we have here is how to identify your blanks. Now, sometimes somebody sends you a data and it contains a lot of blanks. And you want to be able to identify those blanks, highlight them, and send it back to the sender. Oh, kindly fill these blank cells. How do you do that without manually begin to look at your data? Step one is to highlight your data. Normally, when you put your question on your data and you press Ctrl A, everything is supposed to highlight, but sometimes it does not because you have a blank cells. But for this one, everything works because the blank cells are not that material. So you can put your cursor here and press Ctrl A, everything will highlight. But if everything does not highlight, it means that you have something like this. If I have something like this, for example, and I press Ctrl A, you can see that that will break. So for every shortcut you learn in Excel, if it does not work, it means there are some small exception. For example, something like this. So Ctrl A is used to highlight all your data. Now, after I've highlighted it, I'm going to go to Home. I have an option here that is called Find and Select. When I get to Find and Select, I'm going to go right here to where it says Go to Special. Look at it. Go to Special. When I click on Go to Special, I have this prompt. Look at this prompt. Right. I'm going to click on blanks. I'm clicking on blanks because my goal is I want it to highlight only the blanks for me. And I'll click on OK. And all the blank cells are highlighted. I cannot go here to give it a color. See. So let's do that again. I'm going to undo by pressing Ctrl Z. Okay, what are we trying to accomplish? We're trying to highlight all the blank cells in this data. And we're trying to give it a color so that we can send it back to somebody that sends this data to us to fill. So to do that, I'm going to put my cursor anywhere. I'll press Ctrl A. Ctrl A. When I press Ctrl A, I'm going to go here to data. I'm going to go to Home Ribbon. From the Home Ribbon, I'm going to go to Find and Select. When I get to Find and Select, I'm going to go to where it says Go to Special. Look at it. Go to Special. See? When I get to Go to Special, I'll click on Blanks. And I'll click on OK. So all the blank cells are highlighted. The thing is, when you click out, the blank cells will be the same. But because I want to be able to identify them, that's why I advise that you come here, you use this cell color, and then you click out. So now you now have a color in those blank cells. You can now save this file and now send it back to whoever send it to you to fill. So that is how to identify blanks from your data. So the last but not the least is how to remove duplicates. Now, I know you guys already learned how to remove duplicate from your columns, but guess what? The definition of duplicate here is quite different from what you learned in that earlier example. What do I mean? Now, just because something appeared twice here does not make it a duplicate, because in this example, the context of what constitutes a duplicate is what appeared the same across each of these columns. For example, look at this Allen Thomas. Let's highlight it. Allen Thomas seems to be a duplicate when you're looking at it from the employee names, duplicate. But when it gets here, it ceases to be a duplicate. It's no longer a duplicate because this is creative and this is manufacturing. And this simple difference make it non a duplicate because We're talking about duplicate in terms of the range. We are looking at it as the whole. So the only duplicate here you can see is this Michael is a duplicate. Everything here is the same. Look at it. Building is the same. Department is the same. Status is the same. Hire date is the same. Benefit is the same. Compensation is the same, and so on. So that's the only thing that is duplicate there. So, and it's not the only one, there are others. So the question is, in this context, how do you remove your duplicate? So to remove your duplicate, you need to highlight all your data by pressing Ctrl A and go to the same place. Go to data. Under data, you're going to see under your data tools, remove duplicate option. Look at it. Click on remove duplicate and then click on OK. And then guess what? All the duplicate has been removed. Now you now have a unique values. So this is how to remove duplicate from your data. So with this, we've come to this exercise 2, which is all about data cleansing. Any question from anyone? And this is where we're going to stop for today. So let me go to the LMS. So far, we've treated this one and this one. Let's start with Excel and data cleansing. Now that we've treated data cleansing, you want to solve the assignment, just go here and click on this one. You have your assignment waiting for you. Look at it. Just click on it to begin to solve the assignment. Okay, so I will take your questions now. Any questions on what we've done so far in general? Any question? Okay. All right, so if there's no question, so this is going to be the end of our day 1. By God's grace, same time every week. Tomorrow is another day. We're going to continue with exercise theory. All right. But as our usual practice in RKY, today being the first day, please, we want you to drop your feedback on the WhatsApp group, your experience so far, and then also, most importantly, if you learn new stuff today, please share. And there's something you're also looking forward to learn, you can also share on the group chat. All right. So on that WhatsApp is where we have all our communications as regard these calls. I'm there as well, and I generally advise that all the questions you have, all the challenges you will be facing with Excel, you can drop them in that WhatsApp group. I'll attend to them. Even if you are watching the video 2 a.m. and you are practicing and you have some challenge, I always advise you screenshots and just send it there. I'll definitely attend to it. So any information, any questions before we call it a day for day 1? Okay, Fumi, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the session. I think my question would be around the LMS. I tried to log in now. Actually, I missed the email. And it just opened the page and telling me to start learning. So I don't need to register or do anything before I access the course.
I think that's what you need to do, just to start learning, and you're good to go.
Start learning. All right. Okay. Thank you. All right.
You're welcome. Okay. If there's any challenge anyone is having, there are a lot of messages shared on the group chat already. If you're not on the group chat, please reach out to the admin. Again, if you're reaching out, please exercise patience. When you send email, the admin are on standby, but this is weekend as well. If you don't get it resolved before Monday, worst case, you will get a resolution. And your videos are ready 48 hours max. So by Monday afternoon, worst case, or Tuesday morning, your videos are going to be ready. And you can always go to the LMS to watch them and then to practice. Okay, thank you for day 1. We look forward. Good evening, please. Christopher, go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you, sir. Just like Madam Michael shared, I tried logging in where you said start learning, and it will take me to input my email and password. And when I do that, it tell me incorrect.
Oh, okay, we'll tell you incorrect.
Yes.
Okay, so for your case, just send a mail to the admin. There are emails on the group chat. Go to WhatsApp group. There are series of messages that have been dropped.
Yeah.
who to reach out to. It will be addressed.
Okay, sir.
All right.
Okay, you
Then
can
I
just
hope tomorrow I will not have issues with network. I don't know.
Okay, admin wants to
network
answer you.
issue.
Admin wants to answer you.
all right, you can
Okay,
just
okay.
drop it on, you can drop your complaint on the WhatsApp group and drop your email, because that's what we'll use to like find out what the problem is. So just drop the issue and drop your email that you are finding it difficult to log in the LMS.
Okay, I'll do that now. Thank you,
All right.
admin.
Yeah, but
Thank you.
we will try to look into it, sir, because it's weekend. But we'll look into
Okay.
it. Thank you.
All right. Okay, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Please don't forget to share your experience with us on WhatsApp, your day one. How was it like? Any new stuff you learned? I'm looking forward to read your comment. Don't feel free to give rating of how you feel about the session for day one. See you tomorrow by God's grace. Thank you, and let's have a wonderful evening. All right. Bye, everyone.
Thank you all. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.